Good afternoon. Hey, we don't say that very often, but it's actually afternoon. That's right. It's coming to you live on a Wednesday afternoon just for a change of pace. And today we're going to start a new week of programs. We didn't have a program yesterday or the day before. I know it's okay. We're back. And we're going to talk this week about fireworks. Fireworks. Not the Katy Perry fireworks, not the ones that you probably saw being shot off yesterday, but the fireworks that go on in your life, in your business life. And I've got a great example coming up about some fireworks going on inside me right this second. So hang on right through the introduction, and then we're going to get at it. All that and more on episode 869 of today's Antidote.
Stay tuned for today's Antidote, brought to you by the Renegade Success Network. Today's Antidote features a healthy dose of thought-provoking insights and information for business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders, and nonprofit professionals. Each day since March of 2020, this program has offered that one thing to help you continue on your own unique pathway to success. And now, Renegades, we bring you Bob Graham and Tom Brush.
Hey, Tom.
There was no hand action in that. It was just.
I'm really mad at myself right now. So you're not going to happen. I want to get into the topic and try to figure out what's going on.
So you know what that means, right?
What does that mean?
Because I'm going to do everything I can to try to help you avoid that. You're not even asking about my weekend.
All right, I'll ask you about your weekend. How's your weekend,
People were asking
Tom?
where our show was. How about that? People were asking you where our show was Monday and Tuesday, and they were worried because we weren't on.
No, they weren't asking me. Well, a little bit. I did get asked yesterday, and then someone was concerned about it this morning. So very sweet. It's very nice that people care.
Maybe we have some value to share.
Maybe.
You ever thought of that?
Yeah, that.
Okay.
Did you enjoy your 4 days of rest and relaxation? Or were you doing lacrosse stuff?
No lacrosse all weekend. It was a lacrosse free. Well, I did a little bit of work on a signing on one day. Every day.
Okay.
But yeah.
Did you see fireworks?
Not really. No.
Okay. Did you have hot dogs and hamburgers?
Nope.
Wow. Are you not American?
I think I am. I just chose a little different path this year. We were driving late at night Sunday, early evening into night. So I might have seen some in the rearview mirror. And then yesterday, worked out, did some work. I was in bed probably before the fireworks even went off.
Okay. Wow. If you lived where I lived, you wouldn't be able to be in bed because the fireworks were going off.
True.
It was loud.
Well, you know.
Apparently the economy is good. I have a theory. The economy is good if people can spend what they spend on fireworks to shoot off in their backyards.
Okay. That's a theory.
There you go.
Did you ask me to test it or no?
I think no. Let's just keep going.
Okay, fair enough. Do you want me to do the intro, or do you want to just dive in?
No, go ahead. Do the intro.
All right. Well, it's good afternoon. Afternoon. Interesting. It's sort of 7-ish. This, I guess, is the latest 7-ish that we have probably been 7 a.m.-ish that we have been in our 869 episodes. So welcome to our show. We hope that you enjoyed your long weekends and you didn't have to get up right away at 7 to catch our show on Monday and Tuesday. We're back, though. We'll be back at 7 a.m.-ish tomorrow. So as we go through each week on today's Antidote, we have a topic. And this week's topic is about fireworks. I'm trying to give Bob a little longer fuse on his fireworks because he seems to be having some concerns about them being inside of him. And that's going to be our conversation today. And if you have thoughts or ideas around that, please feel free to share them in the comments. We welcome them and know that they'll add value to our show. And at the conclusion of that conversation, Bob and I will each offer our one thing, our today's antidote. That thing that we hope will help you figure out how to take your next step when you might be stuck, uncertain, or you have a pathway you want to travel and you're just not exactly sure how to do it. And you think that it might be helpful to have some accountability, have a little bit of guidance, and maybe some insight into taking those next steps. And of course, if you have one thing that you'd like to share, please feel free to share it as well, because we know that it'll add value to our show, add value to our listeners, readers, people on our podcast. And it might be just that thing that helps someone figure out how to stop being stuck, uncertain, a little less confident, and take that step along their own unique pathway to success. Before we dive into the conversation, though, each morning, Bob and I share our celebrations. So, Bob, what are you celebrating today?
So, I moved into the penthouse, a condominium, a couple months ago. One of the things I hate to do most in the whole wide world is clean. I just don't like to clean. So I found a person to do the cleaning for me, and they cleaned a couple days ago. It was so beautiful on Monday when I got in there that I almost, I didn't want to use stuff. I felt bad going into the bathroom to use the bathroom because it was so clean. The stainless steel was completely
stainless,
brand new. Yeah, stainless. So it was amazing. So thank you to that person. They know who they are, and they did a beautiful job.
You want to recommend them, or they just did that for you? It's not part of a service they offer.
That would be, they did that for me.
Fair enough. But aren't you the person who, and aren't you the person who can't stand to have dishes in the sink?
Yes. I don't mind putting dishes in the sink. I don't mind washing dishes. I don't mind vacuuming. I despise dusting and bathroom cleaning.
So you like some of cleaning, not all of cleaning.
Vacuuming's fun.
And putting dishes away.
Putting dishes, yeah, it's okay. Washing dishes, not so bad.
So that's cleaning, right?
Some of it, yes. But cleaning inside the microwave oven, nah.
Fair enough.
Cleaning the stovetop, nah. Windows, nah. Not me.
Okay.
So
it's not the absolute most thing you hate. Because part of it you don't mind doing.
Correct.
Okay.
That's fair.
I'm just trying to get some clarity here around the actual statement that you made to kick that off and the reality of what was said. So just trying to be clear. That's all.
Well, you lost some light. It went dark on you.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I got a fuzzy haze. I've got all the light I normally have, I think.
The mice don't work in the afternoon.
Maybe.
Powering it, I guess.
That could be. The lights.
So what are you celebrating today, Tom?
I am celebrating a lovely weekend with my larger family. Not only my...
They've all gained weight, or...
all right, so my extended family. So everyone in our family, and my sisters, spouses, kids, grandkids, gathered.
Was this the family reunion weekend?
It was.
Okay.
And so we had a nice gathering with all of just my parents and their kids and kids and kids. And everyone was there except for my brother-in-law, one of my brothers-in-law. So that was unfortunate that he couldn't be there. And then on Sunday, we all got together with my mom's extended family.
Nice.
And so it was fun. It was a good time, enjoyable, some laughs. Got to spend some time with my nieces and nephews and nephew. And it was enjoyable.
Awesome. I forgot that was that weekend. I knew it was coming, but I for some reason I thought it was Labor Day, not Memorial
4th
Day.
of July.
All right, I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry. I've got my holidays messed up. It's so weird to do this in the afternoon.
Okay. So now that we've shared our celebrations, are you ready to dive into this topic and share?
Oh, yeah. I'm so excited.
You said you had an example.
I do have an example. So before the program, I was relating to Tom a business situation that I had gotten myself into, and it didn't go the way I was expecting. And Tom provided me some feedback, And my reaction to that was, I'm a complete knucklehead. I know better. I could have done so much better. I hate myself. I should just crawl into a hole. And maybe I should just give up all my dreams, all my wishes, and just go back to, I don't know, childhood. And so, as luck would have it, we had a program right after that to do, because it's always good to get in that right frame of mind for a program. So here we are. So I have a lot of fireworks going on inside, and how that feels is very unconfident. Like, I don't have confidence even doing this, which this program is not the hardest thing I ever do. We've done it 800 some odd times, kind of have the rhythm down, pretty straightforward. But as I was doing that introduction, I was feeling like, why am I doing this? This is so bad. I can't do this. I can't do this. I think that's what happens about the fireworks when we have things going on inside, when something goes wrong. I know for me, it just sort of snowballs. And one thing going wrong makes everything seem like it's going to go wrong. And then it almost fulfills itself with the idea that, well, if I can't do that right, well, how am I going to do this right? If I can't do that right, how am I going to do this right? And before you know it, you've done 6 things wrong when it was just one thing. And as you pointed out to me eloquently, it wasn't that I did it wrong. It's just it was an opportunity to learn. And if I were confronted with that situation again in an hour, I might deal with it a different way than I did this last time. And you can't know what you don't know. I know all those things, but I'm still kicking myself.
Sure. Well, it's funny, part of that you sort of shared is you use the phrase, I know better. And I asked you another question about something else that related to, the last few days. And if you had done something that as you think about it, you say, I know better than to do that. And I'm not sure we know better. I think it's one of those things where we do things the way that we're comfortable or that we think might get a response. It's easy to look back and say, I know better than to do that. Because maybe I've done it before, or maybe I've done something similar and it provided similar results. And yet you never know, because each time is unique and different. Even though you may have done the same thing to the same person 3 days later, well, maybe now their perspective has changed because they didn't expect that from you. And so they reacted one way now. 3 or 4 days later, they may think differently because they've had a time to think about it and say, well, now I understand a little bit more about Bob and what he was doing. And so maybe I'll react differently the next time. And yet I think that that's not always the case, correct? We can't control how they're going to react. They might react exactly the same way. And so to say that we knew better would say that we could read the future, that we could predict the future. We know the future. That if I
have not perfected that one yet. I'm working on it, but not yet.
You think you're going to be able to know the future?
I'm hopeful.
What gives you that insight? Is there anybody else out there who knows the future? Or are you special and you're going to be you're going to be the first and only one ever to be able to know the future?
Probably not. Yeah. All right. You got me.
So maybe those fireworks are just things like that we think we should know. And it's because we think we should and yet we don't, that we start to get a little uncertain or lacking a little bit of expertise or knowledge or experience or something.
Or confidence.
I mean,
I think that's the thing for me. What happens to me so often is, hey, your lights are back.
I don't know what just happened. It's so weird.
That was weird. You moved your elbow and it turned them on.
I don't know. Can't figure it out.
What happens for me is it just, something doesn't go the way I was anticipating, or someone explains to me something in a way that I didn't see it. And my first reaction is, well, I'm a smart guy. I should have figured that out. And that just starts the whole cycle downhill. And it gathers so much steam, and it can, I'm blessed in the fact that today was after 2 o'clock that happened. If it happened at 6 a.m.,
when I didn't show up for our show.
I wasn't going to say that, but yes, that.
I'm all right with that. You can say that. I accept responsibility for my inaction this morning.
But if it happened early in the day, I think it would have affected me all day. And I think that's one of the things I see sometimes, where if I don't know what I'm doing for a day, like you joke with me all the time about I like having a busy day.
Full calendar.
Part of why I like having a full calendar is there's no time to think about what I'm going to do today. There are things I've got to be at, marks I've got to hit, so that there isn't that hour in the morning like, oh, what am I going to do today? Where am I? What could it be? Oh, I should do this, or no, I should do that, or I should do this, or I should go to the bank, or I should go to the post office, or I should, go out and look for clients, or I should make emails, or I should do blogs. Or it can just go on and on and on. On a day where I have a lot of appointments, I don't have to worry about that. And what I find is when there are gaps, I'll do one of those things or two of those things, and I won't think about it because I don't have time to think about it. It's do not discuss.
You're going to hate me. You're going to hate me. Can I ask you a question?
You can.
So what was the phrase you just used? I didn't have any time to think about it.
I think that's the phrase I used. Sure.
Mm-hmm. Could that also potentially go with the things that are coming up that you have scheduled to do? That when you book them all together, back to back to back to back to back, which you love, you don't actually have time to stop and think about what you are going to do, or to explore what you learned from what you just did and how you might do it differently next time. Because you don't have time. You just go from one to the other with the other based on what is real for you, without pausing to say, how was I impacted by this most recent thing? And how, based on that impact, might I be able to do something maybe different the next time? Is that possible?
That's possible. I mean, I think that's where you sort of come in. And I think I tend to do that late in the day or early the next day. I don't always schedule time for the reflection. It's not like I have a half-hour meeting and then go, oh, let me take 15 minutes to think about it.
Why?
That probably wouldn't be a bad idea, actually.
Fascinating thought.
My calendar will allow me to do that because I can put a 15-minute gap between appointments.
And maybe so if one situation arises in your first appointment, and rather than being frustrated by it, you get a chance to understand it and think about how it might be differently. And rather than letting it snowball because you have no time to think about it and you just go to the next one doing the exact same thing, you might save yourself some fireworks in the long run.
I think that's possible. Sure. Yeah.
Does that make
I think
sense?
it gets to the whole idea of how do you plan your day.
Or how busy.
And I think the way you're advocating is playing your day in a way that you're learning from each experience as you go. And I think that would I might have a different result if I went that way because sorry, just heard myself. Because I would be able to learn from the first experience of the day, and it might apply to the second or the third or the fourth. And the learning might not always be negative. It might actually be like, oh, wow, hey, I really did that well. I should use that phrase again, or I should do this again, or that was a really good question to ask a person. I should write that down so I can ask that with my next discussion, rather than getting to the end of the day and having like a 15-minute reflection period that's all encompassing.
Well, and it doesn't allow you time to adjust if things don't go the way you thought at the beginning.
Correct. Yeah.
And I think it goes back to how you define busy. Is learning potentially keeping busy?
Yes.
So if you set up some time to learn after things, rather than just do, maybe there might be an opportunity to still see yourself as busy, It's just busy doing different things.
Yes. Yes. I like that. That's good.
Well, every once in a while.
Yeah. That's
And you
good.
didn't hate me. That was good. I thought for sure I was going down a
Oh, you were close.
path of,
Almost got 2 shots of that apple.
got to push the envelope sometimes, because I think it's easy for us to be busy, right? It's not hard to make your schedule busy.
Or to avoid the things we have to do and be the opposite busy. Busy with other stuff.
Sure.
Especially if I'm having a day where I don't feel confident. It's really easy to be like, you know what? I've been meaning to clean this desk for the last 3 weeks. This is the perfect day to do it because it's really hard to mess up cleaning a desk.
Sure. Again,
I mean, I'm sure I can find a way to do it.
Thrill. One way to look at things. I'm sure I can figure out a way to mess something up.
Well, there's the confidence thing, right?
Well, there's a lot to that about confidence, and a lot to that about just not judging where we're at and what we're doing. And I think that so often that's what we fall back on. It's easy to do. And that just leads us down the rabbit hole of whatever. Because it was interesting. You said something like, learning doesn't have to be negative.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think learning is negative or positive. It just is. It's impacting what's real for us. And who knows what we learn when we use it the next time isn't guaranteed that it's going to guarantee our results the way we want them. It just guarantees that we're going to maybe act a little differently, maybe, than the way we last did, which will allow us to be like, yeah, I can only control so much. And if I'm constantly learning, and that's the thing that I can control, I think there's a decent chance that we're going to learn enough to start to see some of the results that we desire.
Okay. So do you have your one thing?
Maybe. I don't know. Do you?
I think I do. I think
All right.
what you said about the idea of trying to schedule in a way that you can learn from each thing you do right afterwards would be really useful for me. And in just giving me, I think it might accelerate my growth in some areas.
I think what it also will do, is decrease your spirals one way or the other.
Yes, I think so. And it could be, and they go the other way too.
Of course.
They're not always negative spirals. They can be positive too.
As you know, negative, positive,
right,
judgment, just spirals. And I think that either one of those or any one of those spirals can lead us to doing the same thing we've always done, getting the same results or not, likely not, and stepping back and saying, I know better.
Okay. What's your one thing?
My one thing is I think that a lot of times the fireworks inside of us are self-caused.
You think?
And I think they're self-caused because of judgment.
I think you grasped at the obvious with that one.
Sometimes the obvious has to whack somebody over the face for them to understand it. Fair?
All right, I'll give you that one.
Okay. And so I think that because that's the case, they can also be self-reduced, which means that if we take time to see things as an opportunity to learn, rather than as something to judge, then the fireworks can be a lot less. If you took every call as every action as an opportunity to say, interesting. I took the action, celebrated taking the action,
right,
and then figuring out what happened from there. And not saying I should have known better. Because I think that means that we can control the future. And that we know exactly when we take this action, that result is going to happen, and we don't. And I think that's what leads to us being unconfident. And those firecrackers get started and they bundle up inside of us. And before we know it, because we haven't had time to learn from it, they go off. And we sit back and beat ourselves up, which usually is not a way to be productive.
No, not really.
Just a thought.
Just
All right. If you have your antidote that you'd like to share today, please feel free to put it in the comments. If you happen to be listening to our podcast, still is no way to comment on a podcast. It's amazing somebody hasn't figured that out. So yes, which is helpful to try. And yet there is an opportunity for you to share those thoughts and ideas. You can go to any of our social media pages where this is posted, my Facebook page, Bob's Facebook page, my LinkedIn, Bob's LinkedIn, their YouTube. There are opportunities to find that and then share your thoughts there. Or you can join us in our Sculpt Your Business from Chaos and Confusion to Confidence and Control Facebook group, where you can share your thoughts and ideas there that might be the one thing that somebody is looking for to help them figure out how to move forward. Or you might find something that somebody else shares that allows you to take your next step, to be a little more confident, to feel like you have a little bit more control over the actions you take, not control over the results. Don't get that confused.
Don't be doing that.
Don't be doing that. Just try to understand the actions that you can take, learn from them, and then figure out how to move forward. So we look forward to seeing you inside of that group. If not, we will see you tomorrow morning, 7 a.m.-ish, and a little bit closer to 7 a.m.-ish than today for our next episode of Today's Antidote.
Hey, whatever you do, folks, late in the day today, you still got time to embrace the renegading you. It's so worth it. That was 6.
I think that was 5.
Oh, all right. Tomorrow I'll work on 6.
I think that was 5. I could be incorrect.
All right.
Anyway, everyone go out and enjoy your day. What's left of it. It's not as impactful today because there right now is a little bit less time than typically. And we hope that you enjoy your day, and we'll see you soon.
Are you struggling with confidence or control of your life? Are you back from the holiday going, oh no, what have I done? Why am I here? That's chaos and confusion. Tom and I want to help you go from chaos and confusion to confidence and control with our Sculpt Your Business program. It's for business owners and leaders, which is what's on the screen there if you're looking, and that will help you figure out how you can find your own unique pathway towards whatever you're trying to achieve. You don't have to do it alone. We can help you get where you want to go. All you have to do is track down Tom or me, or go to renegadesuccessnetwork.com. See you there.